All right, Rob, how are you?
I'm very well, Dave. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Well, welcome to your Thursday thoughts, and having me along to ask you the questions this time round.
Something a bit different? Mix it
A
up.
little bit different, a little bit different, with a new background. So, hey, Rob, tell us the first thing I'd like to know is if I'm a founder and I don't have a sales team, where would I start?
Yeah, great question, Dave. And this is a area that founders often get wrong. So, from my experience, the best place to start is to hire two reps. So, rather than bringing a sales leader straight off the bat, you start off by hiring two reps. And the reason why I say two reps rather than one is if you hire one rep and it doesn't work out, you don't know why. You don't know if it's because of the rep, it's because of your positioning, it's because of your product market fit. There's no way for you to tell what's not working. If you hire two reps and one of them succeeds and the other one doesn't, then chances are that the second one that's not succeeding is not as capable as the first one. And you know, given the first one succeeded, that you've got your positioning and your product market fit right. So it's down to sales capability. So that's where I'd advise founders to start is to hire two reps. And yeah, then you'll be able to tell what's working, what's not.
And then when do I bring in a sales leader?
Yeah, so once you've got those two reps humming and singing and they're starting to build out their pipeline and get some wins on the board, that's when you're ready to scale your sales team. So that's when you need a sales leader to take over that function from you as the founder, who's been the sales leader to date. And their primary function then is about scaling, so hiring gun sales reps and enabling them to succeed. So putting in the foundations, the playbooks, the structure that you need to set your sales team up for success.
Now, I imagine founders would have a number of questions for you on what is the, say, three must-have capabilities of a sales rep.
Yeah, so I've always had these in place when I was hiring, and I always put in measures that I could use to assess the level that people were at in terms of these criteria. And Mark Roberg sums it up nicely in his book, The Sales Acceleration Formula. He actually has five criteria. But if we were to look at three, so number one to me is coachability. If your sales rep is not coachable, if they think they know it all, and this kind of aligns with growth mindset, they need to be able to take feedback on and respond well to that feedback. So be coachable. And the way that I would assess that is usually have some sort of a role play throughout the interview process and then provide feedback after that role play. And based on their reaction in terms of how they took that feedback on and responded to it, that was one of the measures that I used in terms of selecting sales reps. Number two is their presentation skills. Once again, the role play is really good for that. How well do they present? And it's not necessarily how well do they know the solution. It's about how do they engage, build that rapport, come across as being a trusted advisor, which is the key role sales reps in today's modern sales environment play. And the third thing is active listening. So rather than showing up and throwing up, the old saying, they come along, they ask questions, and they listen. And it's then that listening that helps shape the future of that presentation. So if you ask the right questions up front, you can use those responses to then shape what the rest of the presentation or discussion looks like. So those three things are all assessed via that role play. And I would usually get them to present something that they're familiar with. So they can't use that, oh, I didn't really know the solution as an excuse. So sell your current solution to me in a role play as if I'm one of your prospects, and then assess how they go with that.
That's fantastic, Rob. So if I'm hearing right, what I heard just then was hire for attitude slash coachability. Make sure you hire for people that can present to customers and they're confident and able in forming those relationships and active listening.
Yep,
So
exactly.
yeah, great. And then keeping on the theme of the three things, what makes a great sales leader? The three things that make a great sales leader.
Yeah, well, number one is you've got to be transparent, honest, and consistent. So with your transparency, you got to ensure that you're treating every rep the same way, that there's that fairness there, that you're setting up an environment where you can bring in talented reps, have the structure there to enable them and give them clear direction, but then get out of their way. You're hiring people because they're good at what they do. And ideally, as a sales manager, you want to be hiring people who are better at selling than you are. So bring them in, give them that structure, but then get out of their way, let them get on and do what they're really good at. And that's another mistake that I often see founders make, is assuming that they know best. And they'll go out and they'll hire and they'll be really particular. Well, we want to get the absolute best rep, put them in seat, and then start trying to tell them what to do. And it is the number one mistake that founders can make. So hire that talent, give them the structure and the goals, and yes, lay the foundations in terms of what you want to achieve. But how they go about doing that, that's why you've hired them. They're good at what they do. Let them do it. And trust them. Make sure they know that you trust them and that it's clear that you believe in their capability, and just get out of their way.
Yeah, and working with you, Rob, over the last couple of years as a sales leader and myself in the marketing seat, I have certainly observed all of those things from you in spades. And that particular one, that trust, and you back your team, you back your sales reps to the hilt, and that gives them that sense of trust, and the trust is returned. Yeah, that's great. Now, the last question I've got for you, we're sort of running out of time, but what should marketing and sales, how should marketing and sales work together?
Yeah, this is really important, particularly in startups, because as a startup, you're still trying to get yourself out there. You're trying to show the market that you exist and get on the radar of your ideal customer profile. So it's so important for a startup to invest equally in marketing and sales, and they need to be resourced the same. So for every sales rep that you hire, you need to also have a marketing resource working alongside them. So you need to make sure that the strategy that you're using in terms of your go-to-market approach is closely aligned. So your marketing is doing the campaigns and setting up the success in terms of the lead generation, and then sales is working closely to ensure that consistent messaging across the approach, and is then working to convert those leads. And that's why at Xsellerate, we're go-to-market consulting. We're not sales, we're not marketing, we're go-to-market. We're both, because they need to be working together, and they need to both be adaptable and change and well aligned in terms of how they're going to market.
And I think that's why you and I work so well together, the marketing and the sales function in those roles. All right. Well, thanks very much, Rob. I think we've covered a lot today in the Thursday Thoughts, your Thursday Thoughts, taken by me. Cheers.
That's it. Thanks, mate.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.